Hello and welcome back. This video is continuing with lesson 2.1. I'm going to go through and show you how to solve some of these equations, and we're going to do some checking in Desmos. So I suggest that you have your strategy next to you while we go through these. So we are trying to find an x that when I subtract 2, I get 8. So you might be able to do some guess and check on this, but I would like us to kind of follow along. We don't need to use the distributive property because we don't have any parentheses. So we can skip down to step 2. Use the addition property of equality to get all variable terms on one side. Well, I only have one variable term and it's on the left, so I'm good there. But I need to get the constant to the other side. So what we're doing when you solve is we're using our order of operations. So let's go through the order of operations again. And when I say again, we haven't done them yet, but you have in prior math classes. Order of operations say that when we simplify, we go in this direction, right? Which means that we take care of parentheses first. And then we take care of exponents. And then we have M and D go together because that means we multiply and divide. Left to right. So they have the same strength, but whatever comes first, left to right, you do first as far as multiply and divide. And then add and subtract are similar. Whatever comes first, left to right, you take care of. This is the order that we use when we simplify. But when we're solving equations, we have to do this order, but in the reverse order. So that's why we have to undo the adding and subtracting first, and then we undo the multiplying and dividing next. Okay, so because we're subtracting 2, we're going to use the addition property to undo this subtracting. To undo subtracting, we have to use addition because we want that to zero out. So -2 and +2 go to 0. So that means we have to add 2 to the other side because you have to do onto one side as you do onto the other. So now this adds to 0. So we still have x left on the left, and our equals come straight down, and 8 plus 2 is 10. So you might have already did some guess and check that 10 minus 2 equals 8. That one we don't need to go to Desmos, but we can check that because we can say 10 minus 2 equals 8. Okay, now number 2. Again, we don't have any parentheses. We have only a variable on the left, and we don't have any adding or subtracting. So we can go to our last step 3 that says use the multiplication property of equality. So right now I'm multiplying by 3. So to undo the multiplication, I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm using a fraction to show that division. You can use a division symbol if you want. So to undo the adding and subtracting, we want them to add or subtract to 0. When we're undoing the multiplication or division property, you want them to divide to make 1. So 3 divided by 3 is a 1. So we want to have x left, bring down our equal, and that means we're going to divide by 3 over here as well. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I'm going to do my check because I'm going to say, I'm going to check to make sure that when I put 5 in for x, that means 3 times 5 equals 15. And that does check. Okay, let's look at the next one. So the next one, again, we don't have any parentheses. However, we do need to get our x's to the same side. Now, I have subtracting 2x on the left and a positive 3x on the right. So I'm going to choose to move my 2x over to the right. So to do that, I have to use the opposite action. So it's subtracting 2x, so I'm going to add 2x. And I'm going to add 2x. And I'm drawing a line here, as this is saying result. This is my result. So 5, because now minus 2x and plus 2x add to 0, which is what we wanted. Bringing down my equal sign. Notice that I'm just bringing everything straight down. 5 equals, and now I've added my 2x to the right as well. So 3x plus 2x. These are like terms. They have the same variable. I'm going to write that over here. 3x and 2x. Like terms. Because they have the same variable x. So 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 1. So all my x's are on one side. Now I have to move my constants to the other side. So I have a plus 1. So to do that, I want them to zero out. So I'm going to subtract 1 so that that zeroes out. So I'm going to subtract 1. And again, I'm going to draw a line for my result. So I'm going to bring my equals straight down. Plus 1 minus 1 adds to 0. So I still have 5x on the right. And now on the left, I have 5 subtracting 1 is 4. And now I'm down to my third step where I divide by 5. I'm only undoing the things that are attached to x. So I'm currently being multiplied by 5, so I'm going to divide by 5, so that equals 1, and I'm going to divide by 5. So my result is x equals 4/5. I'm going to check my work in Desmos on this. So I still have my Desmos from before. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to type 5 minus 2x. I'm going to turn off all my other graphs. And then I'm going to type what was on the right, 3x plus 1. So 5x minus 2, 5 minus 2x, and 3x plus 1. And I'm going to zoom way out. Okay, because I think the answer is 4/5, which is much smaller on this number line. And I can see where they equal. It says 0.8 is where they equal, but 0.8, I have mine in a fraction. So I'm going to go down to this next line and I'm going to type that fraction, 4 divided by 5. And look, it gives me 0.8. So the graph gave me 0.8. Well, there it is. You want to click on where they equal. And then 4/5, the solution that I got in my paper was 0.8. So I can verify that I had the same answer. And then I'm going to hit save. Now, you don't have to do the rest of these in Desmos. I'm going to show you how to do them, but you should have this work right here saved in your Desmos. And you're going to go, and when you upload this into Canvas, you're going to go up to the top right. Notice where my mouse is right here. And you're going to click on Share Graph. So anytime you want to share the graph with me or with a friend, if you're helping them or getting help or submitting it, you're going to hit Share Graph, and it's going to copy this link right here. And you're going to hit the word copy. And then you're going to go into the dashboard and you're going to go into our class. And you're going to go into the assignment. And that first assignment would be upload your chapter 1 video scan. I'm going to make this look like the student view here. Okay, so if I wanted to upload this as a student, I'm going to hit start assignment, and then I have a website URL. I'm going to go there and I'm going to hit Control V for Victor, or right click and hit paste. Control plus the V symbol will let you paste. And then you should just paste that and hit submit assignment. Then you're going to also have the scanned pages to submit. So you're going to say new attempt, and then you're going to do a file upload, or you can use your Google Drive to find files that you want to upload. Okay, and then you're going to hit submit assignment. So you can submit multiple things, and you're going to need to do that so that you can submit the website URLs and your file uploads. Let me show you here. I also want to remind you, I said it's your control button plus the V button will paste. That's a shortcut that's going to help you. I would write that down. And control plus C is copy. Okay, let's solve another one. Okay. Number 4, we have parentheses. So this is where we have to use step 1. Use the distributive property first. So that means that 6 gets multiplied by y and minus 3. So 6 times y minus 6 times 3 is 18. And then here, this -5 gets multiplied and distributed to the y plus 2. So the number only gets distributed to the things inside the parentheses. So now I have a minus 5y, a -5 times a 2 is a -10 equals 8. So I've done this step 1. And then it says use the addition property to get all variable terms on one side of the equation and all constant terms on the other. So first, I'm going to gather everything on the left. I'm going to just consolidate, meaning I'm going to add my like terms because they're all on one side of the equation. I just can combine them. So I have 6y and a minus 5y. So I've got positive 6 and minus 5. So I've got a positive y when I gather all of those. And then I've got -18 and -10. When I gather those together, I've got a -28. I'm still on the left side of the equation, so all I'm doing is combining like terms. Now I can solve for y by adding 28 to both sides. We get y equals 36. Okay. I'm going to show you that one in Desmos. Notice when I put it in Desmos, I'm going to use the variable x because that's what Desmos likes. So everything on the left, I'm going to put together. 6 parentheses, x minus 3 parentheses, minus 5 parentheses, x plus 2. And then in my other second line, I'm just going to put 8. Oh, I don't need 8. I want to make sure where this equals 8. So I'm just going to put y equals 8 here. Because the right side of our equation is 8. So I'm going to set it at equal to y equals 8. And you'll see on the graph when I click, they equal at 36, which was the solution that we came up with. Let's go back to our paper here. Okay. Number 5. I have 3x plus x minus 2 times 2 equals 6. So I have to use my 2 to distribute to this parentheses. Even though I'm going backwards, it's okay. I still have to distribute this 2. So I have 3x plus 2x, and then 2 times 2 is 4 equals 6. So I'm going to combine my like terms because they're on the same side of the equation. 3x and 2x make 5x's minus 4 equals 6. And so I have all my x's on the left. I need to move my constant to the right. So I'm currently subtracting 4, so I have to add 4. So I have 5x, and my equals comes down, and 6 plus 4 is 10. And then I'm going to use my step 3. I'm using my multiplication property and division to undo this 5 to get x alone. So I'm going to divide by 5 because that equals 1. And then I'm going to divide by 5. So I divided by 5 on both sides. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. X equals 2. So if I were to put 2 back in for x, so 3 times 2, this is my x, plus parentheses 2 minus 2 times 2 equals 6. That was my other x. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 minus 2 is 0 times 2 equals 6. 0 times 2 is 0. So I'll have 6 plus 0 equals 6. So 6 equals 6. And yes, I did that correct. So catch me back for the third video for lesson 2.1. I'm going to do some of these examples with decimals and fractions for you.